Our new maid for February, it's finally here, the Velvet. I thought she was gonna be only good on wind team compositions, but it turns out she's pretty good basically anywhere you want to put her as an off-burst buffer character. So let's talk a little bit about her, how she works, where she's placed right now, in terms of the meta overall, right, compared to other B2s, and in my opinion, where she's gonna be on the tier list, but I have to test more before I rate her. That's it before we start. Hello, the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, Velvet. We got her MLB, got pretty lucky. 2 multis, back-to-back, double Velvet. Zero complaints. Kim, I love you. Thank you for providing me with this beautiful MLB wife. Her MLB background, I wouldn't say it's bad. It's not bad at all, right? Nice boobs. But I don't think it's worth going for MLB, okay? As usual, NIKKE has become a game that it's, for the most part, a one copy and you are good. I want to talk about damage comparisons. I want to talk about how to build her at least day 1 impressions. Also important, this is day 1 first impressions. Things might change. Anything that changes after the first impressions, either I make another video or it usually just goes directly into the website and it's updated there directly to the waifus.com. So let's start with her skills and then we can go into everything else. Before we go into the skills, a quick TLDR how to build her. Alright, she is a character that it's going to be a 1-10-1 resilience cube. You only care about max ammo, and then if you want more damage on her as a DPS, you would also get elemental and attack. So why the skills levels at the 1-10-1, right? That's pretty low. Well, as you can see, mine is a 4-10-1. The only reason you would take a skill 1 and burst higher is if you want to use it as a DPS, but that assumes you get lucky on your gear, right? I didn't get lucky on my gear. So for the most part, what you care about is the buff on skill 2 for your allies. 25% of casters attack for your allies, and then charge damage 100% increase for 3 seconds as long as you are doing full charge shots. So she can get this 100% uptime, even considering it's a 2-second reload. That's why we're recommending the resilience cube. So the only new things, we were not sure how this was going to work, it's her ammo pouch. Her ammo pouch is an interesting mechanic. Her ammo pouch will count towards a lot of skills that are ammunition based. So for example, anytime she's shooting, right, she's removing 100 bullets from her ammo pouch outside of full burst, and inside of the full burst, she's removing for every shot on full charge 300 rounds. This has a pretty nice synergy with, not here, I can show it here directly. This has a pretty interesting synergy with Siren. So Siren skill 2, I believe it is, no? Right here, activates each time the total ammo expended by allies reaches 500, affects 1 random enemy unit, dealing 85% of final attack as damage, attacks sequentially for 10 times. So this is 500 bullets. That's why we always run machine guns with Siren, for her cooldown reduction and also because it will make this proc a lot better, right? The thing is that the ammo pouch from Velvet counts towards this skill. So every 2 shots in full burst, she's proccing this. Every couple shots outside of full burst, she's gonna be proccing this because there is other units in the team as well. So 300 bullets consumed on the ammo pouch count for this skill. At the moment, I don't think there is any other characters with similar skills that are based on how many bullets allies used. Do let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But any unit they release in the future will work with the ammo pouch too, which is great. It means that she can only get more use as time goes by. Now, that interaction with Siren means most of the time you will see her paired with Siren in solo raids or raids in general, right? But it's not her only use. Her skill 2 is still fantastic even without that synergy, because she procs a 25% attack and 100% charge damage for all of the allies. And this is enough to be making her compete with something like Crown Mast on, for example, Kraken, Crown Mast on Union range. It's enough to be competing with like the best buffers in the game, and not only on her own, of course, right? So if we go here and we'll talk about damage comparison numbers, I was doing Kraken, I was doing Harvester and Union range. On Kraken, it was a lot slower. So on Kraken on the left running Velvet, it was 1 minute 45 and they were doing pretty good damage. And then on the right, we got to that stage way faster on 1 minute 17 seconds. So she still works on Kraken, makes Kraken a joke, and I will make a separate video talking about Kraken, and not only for Kraken, for a lot of bosses, you can now run of Velvet as a buffer. And she's working fantastic on the main win team, because now you have Nayuta and Velvet as your B2s, Scarlet and Liberalia as your B3s, and Siren, and everyone has synergy with each other. And then we were trying Harvester as well, because I was curious about Snow White and Helm. I usually run this team on Harvester, as you can see, 2 minutes 32, and I usually run Helm, Snow White, Elec, and then Crown. And I was trying with Velvet, and it was the same time, or pretty much the same thing, a full clear on Harvester. Now, this was a 232, but I messed up the QT, so this could have been shorter, like probably a 225, maybe a little bit lower. So Velvet is even making these runs a little bit faster. Now, the reason she makes them faster is not because she's a better buffer for water. It's because these fights are capped in how much damage you can do, and she simply is allowing you to rotate faster, because Helm, Snow White, and now Siren with Velvet means it's instant rotations, basically, right? So that's the reason why it was a little bit faster. But when we actually went to test on Harvester, and we can talk about Wind Week in a second, Velvet is not an amazing buffer, or at least she cannot compete with Elec, right? Elec was making Snow White and Helm do a lot more damage than what Velvet could provide. But at the same time, my Ludmilla, fully invested, it's a 10-10-10 Ludmilla, I did never reset her because I like her, was making them do the same damage with the damage taken than Velvet with her buffs. Obviously, it was still less damage because Ludmilla herself was doing 3.6 billion, right? Because she's a pretty good sub DPS character, but still, she is a pretty good buffer even outside Wind, like I was saying earlier. And then we also tested on Julian Rage on Wind Week, and she was making Liberali do 7.7 and my SBS 7.7. Then I switched to Nayuta Crown, which was less damage on SBS and Liberalio, and then I wanted to check on Mast Take, right? Crown and Mast 7.5, 7.8 versus 7.7, 7.7. So it's pretty similar to running Crown Mast, which is crazy. It's even better because now you can put Nayuta and Velvet, and if you properly build your Velvet, she will do more damage, but you have to assume you're building her as a DPS. Mine is not. I got pretty unlucky with 40 rocks, we didn't get that much. So all in all, it's a character that can be used on raids, can be used on towers, can be used anywhere you want as an off-burst character. If you want to use it as a DPS, you'll have to invest more, at least a 7, 10, 7, and also reroll for elemental and attack, which most people will end up doing because the majority of people who will use her are for raids, right? So there is no reason why you would not try to do that long term. That said, if you can grab a copy, I will say 100% grab a copy. When it comes to right now the meta in NIKKE, where I would put her as a B2 character is a little bit weird because she obviously is not a T0 character, but she's like an in-between of T1 and T2. I'm not sure where I want to put her. She feels like a T1 character because she can be used on basically any team thanks to the global attack buff, and considering the meta currently for damage dealers most of the time is snipers or rocket launchers, she even benefits those characters. So I'm pretty sure she can be a good contender to replace even Bunny 8 for people who don't have her yet, or maybe you didn't pull for her, or maybe you don't have the Elysian mates. In those situations, she's gonna be a fantastic character, and she is better than Naga and Blank. Well, Blank, assuming you're using Rogue or not. So I'm tempted to call her a T1, but I obviously want to test more, so no ratings today. Today I will be pushing to the website the basic build, in case you guys are interested. That's going to be posted by the time this video goes live. You should have already the build on the website, but I'm not rating her or putting her on the tier list until probably tomorrow. That's it, enough yapping. That's basically everything for the first impressions on Velvet. If you guys can grab a copy, I would recommend you go get one. I wouldn't go super crazy because most likely the next event is going to be the collab. So up to you. Collabs, some people don't like collabs. In that case, go grab at least a couple copies of Velvet if you can. For the people who like to have their Pokédex 100%, just get a copy, or don't go too crazy with the tickets because if it's a good collab, right, we all like to have them on the Pokédex. Enough jumping, enough ranting. That's basically everything for this first impressions on Velvet. As usual, we are live every single day. Links in the description down below. Good luck with your pool data rates. I'll see you on the next one.